Welcome to Tanakh Talk. I'm your host, William Hall, broadcasting to you live out of Kingsland, Texas, USA, with episode number 39 of Let's Get Biblical Q&A with Rabbi Tovia Singer from Jakarta, Indonesia, the island of coffee. Welcome to us today again, Rabbi. It's good to see you. It's good to be with you again after such a long misplacement. Of course, you had some really awesome, exciting things you were involved in, so that's kind of cool. Okay, Rabbi, it's time now for us to move on to our hot topic for the day, which is let us make man in our image. Basically saying if this is true, that if we're to understand this as plural, how is it that we can rule out that Jesus was there in the beginning? Or what else does it mean? What all is involved with this?
We're referring now to Genesis 1:26 and 27 in particular. It is important to know that Christians do argue, based on the Christian Bible, that God created the whole world through Jesus. Through him, everything was created. That's expressed in a number of places throughout the Christian canon, that through Jesus everything was created. And therefore, and in fact, it does say in Genesis 1:26, and God said, Nase Odom b'Tzelmenu, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. And the question is, now, who is he talking to? I mean, let us make man in our image. What does that mean? Okay. Who is he talking about? Now, there's a problem. There's a problem. It's not a big problem, but certainly someone approaching this passage will have, the problem is the information isn't there, or it appears not to be there. Like, it just doesn't say. So the question is, who is he speaking about? I don't want to misrepresent Christians here. I don't know if it's the majority of Christian, and when I say Christian, I mean Trinitarian Christians, okay? I don't mean Christadelphians. I'm talking about the Trinitarians, but many leading Christian scholars, for instance, if you open up the NIV Study Bible, you will see that's the NIV. This is not written by Lubavitchers, okay? If you go to Genesis 1:26, this Christian commentary will tell you that let us make man, that speaks of God announcing his work to all the heavenly hosts. He's speaking to the angels. In the World Bible Commentary, it says explicitly, this is done by Christian Trinitarians, that the commentator Wenham, he says that Christians have long seen this as a foretelling of the Trinity. He said this is absolute nonsense, that this God is speaking to his heavenly host, to the angels, when he makes this statement. You'll find, even in the Ryrie study, Charles Caldwell Ryrie, I mean, as a Dallas Theological Seminary, right? Premillennial dispensationalist, major league scholar. Why are they all, these Christians, why do they find it so compelling that this actually God is addressing the angels here? Why? Well, the reason is really quite simple, is that if you read the context, when God says, let us, he's addressing the angels. And in fact, we find that very close by, once again in Genesis chapter 3, verse 22, when after man has eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, so he turns to the angels and he says that man cannot return to the Garden of Eden because lest he eat from the tree of life, and then he will become like one of us. Look it up for yourself. And I give you many examples, of this. You can go to 1 Kings 22:19 and so on. That God is addressing the heavenly hosts. But the question is, like, what's going on here? Like, why is he talking to the angels? Like, what is really happening here? And that's what I think people going, like, why is he speaking to the angels? What's happening? Now, in the Christian terms, it can't work. It collapses. The reason is that in Christian theology, as expressed in the Christian Bible, whether it's the prologue of John, Paul, that all things were created through Jesus. So if, in fact, Jesus is a creator, and everything is created through Jesus, then why is it only Jesus is participating in the creation of man? Why didn't, when God created the heavens and the earth, the water, the fish, why is it only at this point? Doesn't make any sense. But it actually, man is completely unique in the creation. Because all of the things that were created ephes me'ayin, which means ex nihilo, something from nothing. When God let there be light, light came out. He didn't make it from something else. And then God is creating the fish, and then creating the mammals, the land animals. He had already created angels. According to Jewish tradition, angels are created on the second day of creation. And something is completely unique about man. What is unique about man? He's not made from nothing. He's actually made from not just something, but man is the only creature that is made from everything. Meaning, what does Adam mean? Well, you'll say it means man, but really, what is the source of that word? Adam is Adama, the earth, the clay. You know the joke of the scientist that's mocking God and said to God, "You think you're such a big hit that you can go and create man? I could do it too." Really? So God said, "Let me see." So he goes out in the backyard and he starts gathering dirt and forming it. And then God said, "Go get your own dirt." So the key is that unlike everything else, that prior, man is made up of everything. Meaning that, if you have a pet dog, many of you do, right? Or you have a little cat, you love her very much. And when you're eating dinner, and you're eating a steak, you're enjoying a beautiful salmon, grilled salmon, right? What is your dog doing? I know what your dog is doing. And not that I have a camera in your house, but I know what your dog is doing. Dog is sitting right next to you, and he's staring up at you like this. And what is he doing? He's hoping that he'll get some scrap that you'll give him, one, because what you've got on your table tastes a lot better than what you stuck in his bowl. Okay? And he doesn't care what your veterinarian told you that it's better for him to eat dog food or cat food. He's smarter. He knows that your steak tastes better than that stuff that came out of a bag. If you look at the animals that we love and encounter every day, you realize that we really have a lot in common with them. We actually are made of the same substance they are. What does a dog want? A dog wants to eat good food, like we. A dog wants to be safe, wants to be held, wants to be touched, wants to be felt, wants to have babies, wants a safe place, a warm place to stay. That's what a dog wants. Could you relate to that? Of course you can. Why? Because we're made of the same earth, the same clay that the dog is made of. I have a lot in common with that little doggy. I get him completely. I know why he wants my food. So part of us is the dog. Part of us is the animal in us. It's interesting that, in fact, one might say, if you asked 100 kids, what's your favorite animal? I think most people would say they love dog as their favorite animal. And people are appalled that in China or in North Korea, that people actually eat dogs. They go crazy over that. So a dog is perhaps the most beloved animal. And even though there are other animals like dolphins and orangutans that may be more intelligent and are more intelligent than dogs, but no animal could fit into the human family and become a part of the human family and take cues from humans like dogs can. So dogs are the most beloved. What's a very interesting thing about dog is that despite this, whenever we want to say that someone looks lousy, we say you look like a dog. Right? What do you mean you look like a dog? You just finished telling me dogs are the most beautiful. So how come you look like a dog, you smell like a dog? What happened to all the thing? Because a dog is base animal. It's all the base, and that's a part of us. But what Hashem did with man was he took the animal in us, the Adamah, the earth, and he blew into it the Ruach of Hashem, the Spirit of God, the substance from which angels are made of. He blew into us a divine spirit, and that is the tension that we have. What do we do as human beings? What confronts us each and every day? We're torn between the two parts of us, the animal in us, the dog in us, which we love the dog and understand the dog, but yet the dog also is the name that we use disparagingly, strangely. Because what we're saying is you're acting like the animal in us. That's why we say you look like a dog. Or else, what does it make sense? Dogs are the most beautiful animals. So therefore, what is man? Man is made up of all the things that God had previously created. Meaning, he's made of the clay. He's made of what is the animal is made of. But he's also made of the same substance that angels are made of. And that is the Spirit of Hashem, the divine spark of God. When you look at the face of a person, you're in some way looking at a reflection of Hashem. If you look at a dog or a cat, you won't see it. The human being, every human being, the Jew, Gentile, is created b'tselem Elokim. And there is no other animal, even the most intelligent animal, dolphins and orangutans, no animal ever believed in God. And if you can talk dolphin, and dolphins don't speak the way we do, but they communicate for an animal on a fairly sophisticated level. If you could talk dolphin, you tell the dolphin there's a God. He wouldn't even know what you're talking about. Why? Because they're not created in the image of God. So let us make man in our images so delicious. What happened is, what was the purpose of creating the world? For dolphins? No. Why? Because dolphins have no free will. And if you have no free will, you can't have a relationship. If someone puts a gun to your head and says, love me or I'll kill you, and you say, I love you, that statement is meaningless. The whole purpose of the world was that man would have real free will. He will be torn between two forces. The force of the clay, of the animal in him, and the angel in him. See, angels have no free will, but they are only supernal, they're only spiritual. Animals are only physical, not spiritual. We are the only creature that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be His name, that we are both together, and therefore we are torn between the animal in us that wants to live like animals, and the part of us that seeks to act in a way that is divine, that reflects Hashem. And therefore, even people are called God, like Moses, like the children of Israel, in Exodus chapter 4:22. So Genesis 1:26 is an exquisite symphony of sound. Because what Hashem is, now we're at the very end, the whole purpose of creation was what? Not for water, not for fish. Yes, Yeducha Hashem kol ma'asecha, Psalm 145. All your creatures let your be known, that the whole world knows about God through your creatures, and all the creatures of Hashem display God's glory. But that doesn't mean frogs, which are fascinating to study and reflect the wisdom of Hashem, but frogs don't believe in God. They don't know anything about God. They have no free will. They're completely programmed animals. So at the end, finally, each day, Hashem is good. It's good, it's good. Because Hashem is preparing this perfect house, this perfect tabernacle for mankind, where man would not be made out of nothing, like light was made out of nothing. No, man is created from the fusion of two things. Adam, the animal in us, the clay in us, and that's why we have so much in common with animals, but also the Ruach Elokim, which are the angels are made of. And then when HaKadosh Baruch Hu finally now comes for the whole purpose of the world. What was the purpose of the world? Just to have frogs jumping around? No. The whole purpose of the universe was created for mankind, a place where man could freely choose, and therefore choose to have a relationship with God. And we're going to encounter men like that in Noah, and certainly it's going to explode with one of the greatest people that ever lived, who we're going to encounter at the end of Genesis chapter 11, Abraham, our father of blessed memory. So now we can look at the text. Now we can say, what do you mean, let us make man? So now everything is so delicious. It's a symphony of sound, of music, and harmony, rather than a cacophony of noise. God now summons everything that had been created prior. The earth, the beast, what the beasts are made out of, what the angels are made out of, and I'm going to create a single creature that has both, animal and divine, both. I'm going to breathe into the nostrils, I'm going to breathe the Ruach Elokim, a neshama, a part of God is going to be in a human being. This is why that in the Bible, kissing is so important. Yishakeni b'neshikos pihu ki toivim deidechem miyoyin. We ask Hashem, kiss me with the kisses of thy lips. Why? For thy love is better than wine. Why do people who love each other so much kiss with such intensity? Why don't they rub elbows? Why don't they rub their eyeballs? Why are they kissing so much? Why is the kissing so intimately connected to our relationship with another person and our relationship with God? That we ask him, kiss me with the kisses of thy lips. Because when two people who love each other, they kiss with so much passion. Why? Because they want to feel that person's spirit, and that's where it is. This is who you are. This is not me. Your cells regenerate every few years. All your cells die and replace each other. But this is who you are. This is where your neshama went into. And that's where the kiss is. And that's why it's the kiss that's so intense. So therefore, and then that's why it all is yummy. So in Genesis 1:26, Hashem summons his creation. He summons the earth, the clay. He summons the angels, meaning that which is spiritual but not physical. Let us make man in our image, quite literally, meaning that man is created in the image of both animal and angel. The only creature that way. And then let's go to the next verse. What does it say? And then the next verse, who's the creator? Oh, no. We're created in the image of animal and angel. We're both. We have free will. Angels have no free will. Animals have no free will. And then we go to verse 27 and give Hashem a big, big kiss. Because then it says that God created man in his image, in the singular. I mean, only Hashem did. If this is a Christology, so according to the Christian Bible, the whole world was created through Jesus or whatever. There are many religions that taught this. So then why wasn't Jesus involved in creating light? Why was he involved in creating water? All these other things. And don't tell me that Jesus was human, because prior to that you say he wasn't human. He only became flesh then. He wasn't flesh, so he could have been involved. So the answer is so perfect that God, this is by the Ramban, is so beautiful. He who says over something in someone else's name brings the redemption closer. The Ramban very explicitly but God summons everything only for man, nothing else, because man is, come now everything, come ye clay, come ye animal, come ye angels. I have a creation to make, to bring to this world that is in our likeness, everything. And now, verse 27, and Hashem created man. That's what's so beautiful about it. That's why it's let us make man in our image, because only man is created both in the image of dog and angel.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא